Hello, I'm Diego Bertagni. I'm the Executive Creative Director for the Americas at Burson, and I'm more than honored to be chair of the New York Festival for PR. I have an interesting relationship with New York. Right now, I'm living in two different cities, New York and Chicago. So I have this kind of Stockholm syndrome with New York that is like sometimes it's very overwhelming, but when I fly away, I look down and yes, I kind of already miss it. So everything happens here and there's a reason for that. There's something interesting about the industry and being a creative, especially for creatives, the young ones. I think back in the day, you had the agencies and that was it. That was the place to work. And right now you have in-house models and you can see categories showing up at different festivals. You have, even within the in-house model, you can work on tech, you can work on CPG, you can work on many, many different in-house creative models, and the work can be amazing. Or you can work on a big network, or you can work at a PR agency just like I did. I think the most interesting thing about the industry right now is how many different personalities there are when it comes to agencies and creatives being able to succeed on and being creative on all those different models. And I think the other aspect that I think is exciting is like, I will not talk about AI, by the way. Everybody talks about AI, but the most interesting thing right now is how ideas need to be interacted with to become ideas. Before there was this thing about maybe there was a passive relationship with the idea of just watching it. And right now, from a TV spot to digital to an experiential, of course, you have to interact, you have to play with that idea almost like a toy, so it becomes an idea. And I think that's super interesting and unique about what is happening right now in the industry. I think the most interesting thing about being part of New York Festival and being a chair, especially for PR, I think is New York. It's the mecca of advertising. David Ogilvy has walked this sidewalk, so that is at the top of the list. The second one, I think, is the uniqueness of the award. There is a lot of collaboration between the award and the creatives or the chairs on shaping the jury, kind of putting together the categories. That is very unique. Also, there is the no bullshit attitude towards the work. It's like real work. This is a city that accepts no bullshit. And that at the end of it gives the work that is selected and the festival as a whole, that New York DNA that is having a big character. It's like it has character because that collaboration has led up to having a strong festival where everyone can bring their personality and the work shows in a big way. Every time someone asks me this question is like, why do the Olympics matter? Why do the Soccer World Cup matter? It's the best players and the best sponsors coming together and being part of a big event and showing who is the creme of the creme. So I think that is why awards matter from an industry point of view, is like really elevating the industry and establishing benchmarks and establishing a gold standard every single year. But there's also a personal side of things to awards that I don't think a lot of people talk about. Yes, it's a tool for retention, it's a tool for attracting talent and so on. But also, it's not just kind of a career change if you win an award, it's a life-changing experience. I wouldn't be speaking to you in English. I wouldn't be here in New York. I wouldn't have lived in 3 different countries if I hadn't won awards before. So I think sometimes people underestimate the life-changing experience for creative strategies, account people, of winning an award. I think something like winning a New York Festival is a life-changing experience that has taken me to many, many places that I had no idea I was going to end up. So I think that's another part that why it's important to have an award is to retain and show who is the best in the best, but also to change people's lives. I'm very passionate about judging work, not because I'm judgy, but because it's a moment when you can kind of take everything in, take it all in. So through the process, I kind of go through all the emotions. At the beginning, there's a selfish aspect of being a jury. Is like, I want to see the work. I love the work. I love seeing the case studies, how they're put together. So it's a very kind of educational part. It's like I'm back at being a junior and learning about all the new tricks. But then once I go through that kind of selfish side, I move to kind of love at first sight. So it's really having that gut reaction to a couple of pieces out of the hundreds of pieces that you usually judge. And that gut feeling, that healthy envy of, I wish I have done that. It's the next phase in when it comes to judging. But once that goes away and you start narrowing the shortlist, I think that's when the seriousness comes in, and you start analyzing and removing all the makeup of the idea and kind of really going into the entry. And I think the last two steps are the results and the impact that idea kind of developed and had. And then the last one that it for me is sometimes that moment that you have like a pause when it comes to the last push on judging ideas is the actual criteria. Right now, I'm leading PR, and in some sort of way, is like, has it changed a behavior? Has it changed an opinion? Is like that, because right now, as you know, the categories have a very thin line in between. So going to that criteria at the end is what actually makes a PR idea, and a big digital idea that maybe drove a lot of earned, a digital idea. I can talk for hours about this. It's not for the faint of hearts. It's not for everyone. I've been part of the PR creative world for the last 3 years. And it's a very interesting shift because when it comes to being a creative at a PR agency and having comms clients, what we usually say is like, you cannot pay someone to like you. When it comes to like TV spots or other things, it's like there's a paid channel that would work for you. When it comes to earn, that cannot happen. Like people have to like you. That idea has to charm media, so media talks about it. So it's a very different mindset. But going into the industry as a whole, the PR agencies, to some degree, they haven't been built to embrace creative. If you think about PR is crisis management, and then you have creativity that is something that is disruptive. So when you're leading a team and you're being part of PR agencies and creativity, in some sort of way, you're changing financial models, you're changing HR, you're changing how an idea is judged. So it's a very, very interesting place to be, that I'm really enjoying it, because it has been a learning curve from my previous experiences. I'm inviting more people, more creatives, more thinkers to join the PR world, because we're seeing great things happening when great ideas kind of come together with the great muscle of a PR agency. The results and the impact and the change of opinions and on the actual change in people's lives, even sometimes coming up with a new law, it is really, really rewarding. The first one is really, really focusing on earned first. I've been part of a couple of PR juries, and this always comes to the biggest filter of ideas. We have a lot of TV spots that have drove earned. We have a lot of ideas, digital ideas that have created headlines. But when it comes to earned first, is the core of the idea and the strategy earned at its core, or it has drove earned impressions, it has drove earned. So I think that is the first big filter that we're gonna be talking in the room. I think the second one is really making a difference between a change of awareness, a change of consumption to a change of opinion. I think reputation is what we are going to be focusing on when it comes to how we're going to analyze the work, how we're going to filter the work, so we don't fall into other categories. To some degree, PR is all about that. Is how can we manage reputation of a brand and change it so people embrace it. And the last one, it's really digging into the results, really asking a lot on the entries results and where they come from and the impact it really had. So it's a lot of nerdy little things, but if we embrace those three different aspects of an entry, we're going to really have a strong PR selection of ideas that are going to be very different from the other categories.